Tinubu meets national chairman of APC and service chiefs at Aso Rock. Federal government commits to achieve 27% contraceptive rate. WHO to release $2 million for Libya emergency. Good evening. Today is Thursday, 28th Safar 1445 after Hijrah of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, which is equivalent to 14th September 2023. I am Salma Adam Iko with the news. President Bola Tinubu met with Abdullahi Ganduje, national chairman of the All Progressives Congress APC, and the service chiefs at the Aso Rock Villa. The meeting held at the council chambers of the presidential villa was about finding solutions to the protracted clashes between farmers and herders in part of the country. President Bola Tinubu is set to receive a report and blueprint from committee members of the National Conference on Livestock Reforms and Mitigation of Associated Conflict in Nigeria. Before completing his second term as governor of Kano State, Ganduje worked with stakeholders to find lasting solutions to the problem. In January, Ganduje inaugurated a committee tasked with planning a national conference that will proper solutions to farmers-herders clashes. The 26th Chamber Committee was chaired by Attahiru Jega, a former chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Speaking at the meeting, Ganduje said Jega's committee has turned in its report, which he said is an antidote to the clashes. The federal government says it is committed to financing family planning to ensure that Nigeria achieves a 27% modern contraceptive prevalence rate among women by 2024. The permanent secretary of the Ministry of Health, Dr. Daju Kacholom, stated this yesterday in Abuja during a two-day annual national pause and reflect moment of the Society for Family Health Adolescent 360 program, 360, with the theme consolidating the gains of adolescent sexual reproductive health programming in Nigeria. Represented by the Director of Family Health, Dr. Stella Nwosu, she said the current pace of 360 Amplify program has placed a strong emphasis on human-centered design and integration into government health and development system. She said this strategic shift was driven by the collective recognition that lasting impact and sustainable could only be achieved through the seamless integration of AHH service into the healthcare landscape. She called on states to begin to brainstorm on innovative approaches to sustain the program. Managing Director, Society for Family Health, Dr. Omokude Idogo, said the Adolescent 360 program had supported an expansion of youth-focused service delivery by working to attain at least 70% of primary health care coverage in focal states. The president of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, Professor Emmanuel Osodeki, says federal government cannot totally back out from funding universities. Speaking on Channel Television's Breakfast Show, Osodeki said it is clearly stated in the Constitution that the federal government must fund public universities. He was reacting to a report where the Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Mamman, was quoted to have said that the federal government will initiate new ways of funding tertiary education by granting full autonomy to universities to explore new sources of financing their activities. The ASU chairman said there is no way the federal government of Nigeria will say they will not fund public universities because it is there in the law and constitution under Section 18 of the Constitution. He added that if Nigeria commits greater allocation to education like countries in Europe are doing, the universities will have enough funds to run its activities. The Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, says power supply has been restored in some part of the country. Nida Mba, TCN spokesperson, in a statement said the regions where power has been restored included the west, north central, south, east, and a large portion of the northern side. Earlier today, the national grid suffered a total system collapse from the first time in more than a year, according to TCN. The federal government has said the collapse of the national grid was caused by a fire outbreak on Kanji Jamba 330 kilovolt line. Giving update on the incident, Mba said grid restoration has reached advanced stages. Mba said the grid restoration process initially suffered a setback, but clarified that this does not amount to another collapse. The TCN spokesperson explained that in the course of any grid restoration process, challenges may be encountered. The House of Representatives has denied claims by the leadership of Nigerian Labour Congress that the federal government gave 100 million naira to members of the National Assembly as palliatives. The National Assistant Secretary of the NLC, Christopher Onyeka, had made the allegation in a statement issued in Abuja. Reacting to the allegation, House Committee Chairman of Media and Public Affairs, Akin Rotomi, described the allegation as baseless and devoid of factual accuracy. The statement says, for the avoidance of doubts, at no time did members of the House of Representatives receive any money from the executive arm as palliatives. Akin Rotomi added that the House of Representatives wish to remind the NLC and all Nigerians that in less than 100 days in the tenure of the 10th National Assembly, they have demonstrated commitment to welfare of Nigerians workers and all Nigerians. The Jigawa State Police Command has arrested 3 suspected electric cable vandals in Ringim local government area. The spokesman of the command, DSP Lawan Shiso Adam, confirmed the arrest in a statement in which he identified those arrested as Haruna, and Ahmad Nasru, both of Gujiba village in Ringim local government area. According to the statement, a technical officer of the Kano Electricity Distribution Company, KEDCO, Ringim branch office, explained at the Ringim police station that unknown persons have vandalized KEDCO service cables along the Ringim Gidangarki axis. DSP Adams says the team of policemen swiftly swung into action and arrested the suspects who were caught in the aluminum ware. The suspect reportedly revealed that they stole the cables from the shop of one Dahiru Isa of Tofa village, Gizawa, local government area of Kano State. A police spokesman said the investigation is ongoing and efforts are in top gear to arrest the prime suspect, after which they will be arraigned in court. The news is coming to you from Studio of Sawaba Radio. More of the news after the short break. Please do stay.
This is News on the Hour, Sawaba Radio FM. Stay tuned.
Thank you for staying tuned. This is Sawaba News at 7, coming to you from Studio Sawaba Radio 104.9 Hadija. The People's Democratic Party (PDP) has taken legal action against the Jigawa State Independent Electoral Commission in a case filed by PDP seeks to challenge the powers of the Jigawa State Independent Electoral Commission (DSEC) in not allowing the party to field a candidate in councillorship by-election in Goram ward of Goram local government area. This is contained in a statement by Jigawa State Public Officer, Ministry of Justice, Hajia Zainab Baba Sentali. The statement added that the crux of the PDP suit was that the timetable for the by-election has not been amended in accordance with observations made by the claimant representative and other political parties. However, it added that the claimant contend that the amended timetable was never served upon them, hindering their ability to adequately prepare for by-election. The new managing director of Jigawa State Road Maintenance Agency, Engineer Abbas Lale, today assumed office, receiving the managing director. The director engineering service of the agency, Engineer Awal Ibrahim, expressed gratitude to God for returning Engineer Lale to the agency, which he earlier served as the pioneer director engineering services of the agency. Engineer Awal Garba described the new managing director as a seasoned administrator who rendered selfless service to make the agency what it is today. He pledged the full support and cooperation of the staff to the managing director to enable him deliver the goods for the agency. Responding, the new managing director, Engineer Abbas Lale, thanked Almighty Allah for the opportunity given to him by Governor Malam Umar Namadi for the benefit of the people of the state. He promised to carry everyone along and operate on open door policy that will benefit the agency. Also contributing, Permanent Secretary Ministry of Water Resources, Engineer Garbayao Ilalla, expressed the confidence that the managing director will no doubt justify the confidence reposed on him. Police authorities in Sokoto State have confirmed a banditry attack in Giawa village, Gorenyo local government area in the Eastern Senatorial District of the state with 4 persons dead. The command's public relations officer, Assistant Superintendent of Police Ahmed Rapai, told newsmen that 18 persons were initially abducted by the assailants that carted away valuables, including livestock. He, however, said 7 of the abductees later escaped and returned to their community, where many residents have fled for safety. Though other sources from the affected community claimed that over 30 persons were abducted, the police maintained that only 11 persons were still with the attackers. The security agency said their personnel are on the trail of the assailant and are making effort to ensure normalcy is restored to the affected community and environs. Defense headquarters says troops of armed forces of Nigeria have in the last 2 weeks eliminated a total of 151 terrorists and apprehended 456 others in different operations across the country. The Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, said this while giving update of military operations across the country on Thursday in Abuja. Mr. Buba said the troops of Operation Hadinkai neutralized 44 terrorists, arrested 21, and rescued 4 kidnapped hostages during the period. He said the troops recovered 17 AK-47 rifles, 3 locally fabricated rifles, 3 locally made guns, and 1 Beretta pistol, 3 Dane guns, and 116 rounds of 7.62 mm special ammo, and other weapons, vehicles, 5 mobile phones, 6 motorcycles, 3 cutlasses, and the sum of 3.18 million naira. Mr. Buba said the troops arrested some suspected terrorist collaborators in Jere and Biu in Borno, as well as Gujba local government area in Yobe State. Now to international scene. A rescue effort continued. The United Nations has launched an urgent appeal for Libya and is aiming to raise $71.4 million in aid. The call for help highlighted a heightened concern that people will become severely ill or die if immediate and adequate aid is not sent to the affected areas. The fundraising effort targets just over a quarter of 884,000 people, the United Nations has said, have even directly affected. United Nations analysis indicates 2,200 buildings have been hit by flooding in Dana after 2 dams collapsed, with the document also describing the situation in the submerged city of Susi as critical. Meanwhile, the World Health Organization is adding its voice to the international response, saying it will release 2 million naira from its contingency fund to support the emergency effort in Libya. The organization chief, Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, also revealed that 28 metric tons of trauma, surgical and emergency supplies are due to arrive tomorrow from the logistic hub in Dubai. He added that WHO has now activated its network of emergency medical teams. 8 countries and organizations have offered their assistance, and a team from France has already deployed its field hospital in the affected area. The International Monetary Fund (IMF) has begun the first review of its $2.9 billion United States dollars bailout package for Sri Lanka, a nation grappling with a severe economic crisis. The review, which started today, will assess the island performance under the 4-year program that was killed in March 2023. The IMF review team will remain in Sri Lanka until September 27th, according to the officials. State Minister of Finance Shehan Semasinge stated that the government is collaborating closely with the IMF team to overcome the challenges ahead. Sri Lanka, a country of 22 million people, suffered its first foreign debt default in May 2022 following a severe dollar shortage that triggered its worst financial crisis. This led to the large street protests over several months, escalating into a political crisis that culminated in former President Gotabaya Rajapaksa's resignation and departure from the country in mid-July. Furthermore, India provided support worth $4 billion to finance import of fuel and essentials during the crisis. And we wrap up the news with this and a recap of the major stories. From the news, President Bola Tinubu meets national chairman of APC and service chiefs at Aso Rock, Abuja. Federal government commits to achieving 27% contraceptive rate. World Health Organization to release $2 million for Libya emergency. On behalf of the news department and the news editor Lukman Dahiru, I am Salma Adam Iko. Thank you for listening.